Custom home builder Dan Walrath was ready to retire after 25 years in the business. That is, until a colleague asked him to speak to the father of an injured Marine, Lance Corporal Stephen Schultz.
He had been injured by a roadside bomb, or IED. He had severe head injuries, and they had a choice, either to put their son in a home or bring him home. But their home needed a lot of modifications. As he was telling me the story, he was tearing up, and of course I was tearing up, and amongst all the emotions, I told him, I said, look, just, I'll do this job.
Dan went to his friends in the local Builders Association and told them about the Schultz family.
We all joined forces and went over and just completely remodeled the home. To my surprise, no one spent a dime. Everything was donated. I knew God was up to something at that point.
Dan told his wife, Carol, he felt God had something bigger planned.
Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. My mind was just totally consumed with more families that were in the same situation, like the Schultzes. God just put a burden on my heart.
So Dan found another military family in need. This time, he and his friends built a custom home from the ground up, paid for entirely with donated materials, funds, and labor. Then they built another and another.
After the 6th or 7th build, I talked to Carol and we'd prayed about it, and I just knew that God had called me to do this.
With that, Dan and his wife Carol founded Operation Finally Home, a network of builders, suppliers, and supporters dedicated to helping veterans and their families.
The mission of Operation Finally Home is to build mortgage-free, custom-built homes for our wounded, ill, and injured, and widows of the fallen. Homes that they have a place to heal mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Carol, who serves on the board, understands the importance of a home for the veterans they assist.
Most of our veterans that come back, they don't have anywhere to go because, they've been overseas or they've had to rent. They've never had, per se, even enough money to buy a home. So this is really their only hope of having a home is a mortgage-free home.
They are all custom built to meet the needs of these families. A lot of times we'll make the doors wider for wheelchairs. We'll make roll-in showers, lower cabinets, just things like that to make their life a little bit easier. And then sometimes with the young men that are really suffering with PTSD, we'll build a quiet room.
To date, their organization has built homes for 180 veterans and their families in 33 states. One of them is Army Specialist Haywood Range, who lost his arm in a Humvee accident.
We had to go do a training mission up a mountain to get high ground on the enemies. I heard our TC, our front passenger, yell, "Roll over, roll over." So from then, we're just rolling down, rolling down, rolling down. I saw, as we were rolling, the vehicle come down on my arm. I felt like so low at that point. Like, I couldn't do anything for myself at the hospital. The nurses are having to do everything. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna be of any use to anybody else when I'm not useful even for myself.
Making it worse, Haywood knew there was a tough road ahead for his young family. Then, Haywood's caseworker with the VA put them in touch with Operation Finally Home.
And we get a phone call saying that, hey, I want to fly you guys in, get to know you better, I want you guys to come to this banquet with us, this Tournament of Champions with us.
It was at the banquet the family learned they had been selected to receive a mortgage-free house from Operation Finally Home.
Words can't even describe like what I was feeling at that time, or the rest of the family was feeling at that time. Like, what did you say? The next day, we walked in to our new home, and it was breathtaking. Like, to me, the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. God really set this whole thing up.
When we surprise a family, there's no other feeling like it. Knowing that at that moment, literally changed the direction of that family's life.
It's provided stability for me and my family to be able to grow here for many, many years to come. It's definitely afforded me peace, and healing as well.
That's our main objective, is to give them something that they already paid for. With their service, they paid for it with maybe a leg, an arm, PTSD, and they have given. They have given, and maybe this time they can receive.
Dan has written a book about his experience with Operation Finally Home called Building Hope. He hopes it will inspire others.
Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a calling, and God has a purpose and plan for your life. You just got to be willing to say yes, and God will equip you with what you need to get it done.